today's discussion on the Great Master with the prayer. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of the Great Master Sri Ramakrishna. Today we are going to start the new chapter, chapter 7th, Grace bestowed on Mathuranatha Vishwas in the mood of the spiritual teacher. Shardanandaji Maharaj is quoting now a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, that is the 20th verse of the 10th chapter. Lord Krishna is telling, I am the self residing in the hearts of all creatures. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. The verse is Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashayastitaha Aham Adincha Madhyancha Bhutanam Anta Antvacha Aham Atma Gudakesha. Gudakesha is the name of Arjuna. He had controlled sleep. He could sleep whenever he wanted. He could give up sleep, wake up from sleep whenever he wanted. So he had control over his sleep. So he was called Gudakesha. Now, Aham Atma Gudakesha, O Arjuna, I am the self residing in the hearts of all the living beings, all the creatures. I am the beginning. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashayastitaha. Then I am the beginning, I am the middle, Bhutanam Antyamevacha, the end of all the living beings. That is the verse number 20 in the 10th chapter. Now let us see what Shardanandaji Maharaj wants to explain about this. There was great rejoicing that year on the occasion of the worship of Durga, Mother Durga, at the Jan Bazar house of Mathuranath Vishwas. For year after year, the same indescribable bliss was shared by all, the old and the young, the ladies and the gentlemen. There was something special at this year. There was something special at this year's worship of the Divine Mother of the Universe. Father was gracing the occasion with his holy presence. That was the speciality. The speciality was, during this Durga Puja, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa stayed in Mathuranath Vishwas' house and he was blessing all of the people there, and he was a part of that Durga Puja. Father was gracing the occasion with his holy presence, and this had enhanced the bliss 1,000-fold. There was therefore no limit to the rejoicing. Just as a child besides itself with joy and free from fear makes importunate request to its mother, and without any cause laughs, dances, and exclaims before her, so did Sri Ramakrishna, the unique child of Divine Mother, behave under the influence of his divine mood, incessantly experiencing the direct manifestation of the mother in the image. And the image appeared to be living and smiling and to be made out of light. So, first of all, it is Durga Puja. So, in the image, they have invoked, the priest will have invoked Divine Mother, and together with that, to make it more special, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who is now manifesting that Divine Mother in his own person, is there. So you can see what is the special feature there. Mother Durga's manifestation in the form of the image, and also in the live person called Sri Ramakrishna, it was the Divine Mother was manifesting. Just to make it a little more understandable, I will tell you, at the end of the Sri Ramakrishna's life, before a few days before he was about to give up his body in the Maha Samadhi, we see, we read it in the life of Swami Vivekananda, also in the life of Ramakrishna, that Ramakrishna transferred some power like that of a high voltage electric power into the body of Narendra, that is Swami Vivekananda. So later on, one of his disciples asked Swami Vivekananda, what was that electric power like thing of 2000 volts or something which was transferred from the body of Sri Ramakrishna to your body? And Ramakrishna then later on cried that today I have lost everything and become a Pakira. Now, Swami Vivekananda replied much later of that, after that incident, to his disciple, that is one of his householder disciple, a Sanskrit scholar, Sharat Chandra Chakravarti. Conversation between Sharat Chandra Chakravarti and Swami Vivekananda. There is a book, you can read that, it is there in that book. So now, it's called Swamiji Shishya Samvad. Swamiji Shishya Samvad. So in that book, we can see that Swami Vivekananda replies, there was nothing like 2000 volt electricity or something, but that Kali, the Divine Mother of the universe, who was residing in the body of Sri Ramakrishna until then, making the pure body of that great avatara as a place to reside. Now, she, from that body of Sri Ramakrishna, came over to my body, to Vivekananda's body. And since then, she has not allowed me to rest at all. She is making me do the work for the welfare of this world continuously. She came away from the body who was residing in the body of Sri Ramakrishna. Now she came away to my body and she is making me work constantly. So she has never given me rest. So that is what we can see. The whole life of Sri Ramakrishna, we can see it was Narayana or Vishnu himself as the avatara and the Divine Mother of the universe residing in that body and now acting. The Ishvara and the Shakti both are in the same body acting for the welfare of the world. So now you can imagine. So until Sri Ramakrishna had the vision of Divine Mother and then obliterated his ego completely, and then he made the Divine Mother to reside in his body, he became the Divine Mother himself. So later on, what would he do? There are incidences in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Whenever he wanted to see the Divine Mother, he didn't want to cry and call her, but just take the mirror and look at himself. Instead of himself, he could see the Divine Mother in the reflection. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna used to do. So it was purely, there was no, the devotee Sri Ramakrishna there existing. So in the person of Sri Ramakrishna, it was Divine Mother alone. So now you can see, he is now staying in the house of Mathuranath Vishwas, where they are doing Durga Puja with great pomp and grandeur. Father Baba or Sri Ramakrishna was gracing the occasion with his holy presence. And you can see why it has enhanced the bliss in that household thousandfold. Because on the one side, the image of Mother Durga, where Mother Durga's presence is invoked by the different mantras and purificatory rites. So the image is live with the Divine Mother, Chinmayi, the Mrinmaya Murti. Mrinmaya means that is made out of the mud, Mrin. So in some of the South Indian languages, the mud is also called as, the clay is also called as mannu. It comes from the Sanskrit word mrin. So mrinmaya murti, that which is made out of clay, now has become chinmaya murti, with full of consciousness. And now you can see the chinmaya murti of Sri Ramakrishna, the whole avatara Ramakrishna is now completely with Divine Mother inside him. So now you can feel Ramakrishna himself having Divine Mother in his person and the image where the Divine Mother is invoked. So why it has enhanced the bliss a thousandfold. There was therefore no limit to the rejoicing. So within the image there is the Divine Mother. Without the image in the person of Ramakrishna there is the Divine Mother. So you can see the play of Divine Mother there. Just as a child besides himself with joy and free from fear, makes importunate request to its mother, and without any cause laughs, dances, and exclaims before her, so did Baba, that is Sri Ramakrishna, the unique child of the Divine Mother. Just imagine the small child was away from the mother for a long time. Then the small child of 4 or 5, he has come back to the mother. Just imagine how would be the joy of that baby to be with the mother. It would be running around the mother, climbing up the mother, then making so many demands to the mother, give me that, give me this. So it laughs simply, there is no reason for it to laugh, jump, and dance. So just like that baby, which doesn't have any lajja, bhaya, ghrana, or anything, it goes on after meeting the mother for many days. It is so much full of joy. Just like that, Sri Ramakrishna, the divine child, the special child of Divine Mother, just like a child, besides itself with joy and free from fear, makes importunate request to its mother, and without any cause laughs, dances, and exclaims before his mother. So did Sri Ramakrishna, the unique child of the Divine Mother, behave under the influence of his divine mood, incessantly experiencing the direct manifestation of the Divine Mother in the image. And the image appeared to be living and smiling and to be made out of light. It was not as if it was made out of the mud or some paint and the other things by which they make every year Durga Puja. It will start, there will be the skeleton of that wooden cart, it is called the wooden plank, and upon that there will be the skeleton inside, and over that they will be covering it with, to make it more soft and catching hold of that clay, they will cover it with some more things like the jute ropes and other things, giving a shape. Then after that they will be putting the clay, then they will bring out different form of the head, feet, and the body, and the hands and the feet and everything. And then finally they will start giving it particular shape of the Divine Mother, carving the eyes, carving every part of the body perfectly. Then they will start putting the organic paints to that. We have seen that in Belur Math every year, some 20 days before Durga Puja, the process will start. They will do the puja for that plank of wood on which that will be placed, and then gradually all these things will be done. Every day we used to watch how the image is made there. We used to watch all those things. So now that image is not now looking with those Panchabhutatmaka image, but it is looking as, because of the presence of Sri Ramakrishna, they could feel it was made out of light. Again, the image appeared to be living and smiling and to be made out of light, that is consciousness, Chinmaya Murti. Again, the manifestation of the mother in that image and the manifestation of the same mother in Sri Ramakrishna's divine body and mind combined together to fill the atmosphere of the worship hall with an indescribable and indefinable divine presence, felt even by the dullest mind, even ordinary people who do not care for spirituality, who are at the very lowest rung of spirituality, or they do not want religion, they are so worldly, even they could feel the presence of Divine Mother. This evident presence in the worship hall appeared to have illumined not only the hall, but the hearts of every member and every nook and corner of the entire house, and lent a unique beauty everywhere. And it could not but be so, for the Rajasika devotion of the wealthy Mathur Babu. Now you have to note there are different types of devotion. Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita the Tamasika Bhakti, the Rajasika Bhakti, and Sattvika Bhakti. You can see some of the devotees, they will demonstrate or they will put out their money to show off. They have done the puja with great pomp and grandeur. There will be so many paraphernalias, so much of feeding, so many different decorations. So all those things are done to show off their great money and other things. That is termed as Rajasika. Tamasika, I need not explain. So now Ramakrishna and other great devotees, their devotion would be of Sattvika. But here Mathurnath has done the Rajasika type of devotion. For Rajasika devotion of the wealthy Mathurnath Babu had left nothing to be desired in the collection and arrangement of the materials required for the worship. The collection of the adequate quantities of flowers, fruits, roots, and sweets, the adorning of the image with valuable cloths and ornaments, the decoration of the walls, doors, and floors of the house with green leaves, flowers, flags, and buntings, the provision of the musical instruments such as the flutes, shahanai, what we call in different parts of India. In North India, it will be shahanai. In South India, it will be nadaswaram. So there will be that playing of the lute and the shahanai and the flute and so many other instruments. All these had been attended to with meticulous and exhaustive care. Besides, the presence of the Divine Mother at the house had, as it were, penetrated these inert material substances and infilled them with the joyous sublimity of the spirit. The elevating beauty suggested by the ochre cloth of many austere monks in the sublime settings of clumps of evergreen deodars on snow-covered Himalayas, the tender innocence emanating from a beautiful suckling at the breast of the handsome mother, and the unique glow that pure thoughts and sentiments produced in a beautiful face, the charm of all these had, as it were, combined together to produce a wonderful atmosphere in the house of Mathurnath Vishwas. Need to be said that all this indicated the dawn of an era of the unique good fortune on Mathurnath. So this was the dawn, DAWN. So it was indicating the dawn of the era of unique good fortune of Mathur. Need it be said that the master of the house and his wife, in spite of their being busy in making proper arrangements for worship and reception of different guests who were coming, were constantly being filled with an indescribable bliss and were feeling in their hearts of hearts the grace and beauty of the holy atmosphere. The ceremonies of the day came to an end. The worshippers snatched a little time somehow to offer flowers with great delight at the holy feet of the great avatar Sri Ramakrishna and of the Divine Mother. Now, if you go to Bengal or the place where they do the Divine Mother worship, then only you can feel what is the real joy during the Durga Puja. You cannot understand otherwise. So during the Durga Puja, you should go to Bengal and see. There will be maybe thousands and thousands of pandals worshipping Mother Durga in Calcutta alone. All through Bengal, I think there may be millions. So if you visit one of them, you can see that mart of joy. And if you come to Belur Mat during that Durga Puja, it is the most sattvic way by which, the traditional way by which Durga Puja is worshipped there. So everywhere you can see joy and joy alone. For that the Durga Puja, nearly for that 15 days, there will be no other work going on in Bengal other than Mother Durga Puja's worship. So if ordinary the worship of Divine Mother with all this Rajasic and Sattvic and other paraphernalias is so wonderful, then imagine here done with that great devotion of Mathur Babu and the presence of Sri Ramakrishna himself, the child of the Divine Mother, the Avatar Purusha, then you can see what is the joy that is emanating in that place. So that ceremonies of the day was coming to the end. The worshippers snatched a little time somehow to offer flowers with great delight. At the end of the Durga Puja, there will be a thing, or any puja, there will be a thing called Pushpanjali. That is offering our heartfelt flowers, the Pushpa Anjali with both our hands at the feet of the Lord. Every time we do the puja, you can see that we offer Pushpanjali. So this was the time, because the puja is coming to an end. Everybody is coming with great delight and offering flowers at the feet of the Divine Mother and also at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. It was dusk. Now the Arati of the Divine Mother of the Universe would begin. So that is also another joyful event. Every day there will be the early morning Arati and different Aratis, and the evening Arati will be so beautiful. So that Arati, evening Arati, with all its great pomp had begun. They will be beating the dhaks. So the drums, the kettle drums will be beaten, and the Arati will be commencing then. The moment you hear those kettle drums, you will become that, you will have that feeling of butterflies in your stomach. It's called the Romanchana. You cannot just sit there. You will be as if you want to fly. That will be the feeling the moment you hear those dhaks or the kettle drums and the Arati, wonderful Arati. You should go there and just only enjoy it. Then only you can feel it. Then also all the thousands, maybe some 30, 40,000 people will have gathered. Out of that, maybe 20, 25,000 people will be the mothers, the women. So during that Arati and special occasion, they will make a special sound that's called Mangalanada or Ulunada. So they will make high pitch, they will beat their hands in front of the mouth like this and make ulu 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 nada. So that high resounding ulu nada, it's Mangalakari. So it's a welcome, just like we play the bell, we what do you call, sound the conch and other sound. So this is also the ulunada is a Mangalakari which is liked by Divine Mother Durga. So the women folk, when such things like Arati and other things are going on, so when there is the Bali for the Divine Mother or there is some other special thing, Sandhi Puja, they will make this sound. So for the first time we go there, we do not know what is happening. Suddenly that high sounding pitch of 20, 30,000 people making that sound as if there is a war cry, and you will get so afraid and you will be seeing, looking around, what is happening? Is there any attack going on? Then we see the women folk doing that ulu ulu nada. So you should be there, then only you can experience that during the Durga Puja. So here the explanation is given during the Arati time, how beautiful everything was around. So now Sharadanandaji Maharaj is telling that it was dusk in the evening, twilight. Now the Arati of the Divine Mother, Mother of the Universe, would begin. Ramakrishna was then in the inner apartment and had completely forgotten his male body. Under the influence of a maddening spiritual mood, the only thought that expressed itself through his words and action was that he had all his lives throughout the ages been woman companion of the Divine Mother. Now he is in that bhava. Now we know that during different sadhanas, Sri Ramakrishna used to behave in that pattern. When Jatadhari gave him the Ramalala, he completely turned himself to be the mother Kausalya of Ramachandra and practiced that sadhana of Vatsalya Bhava. And when he did the sadhana of Hanuman with the Dasya Bhava, he became completely identified with Hanuman. Now here, this is one of the bhava by which you are approaching the Divine Mother. He approached Divine Mother like a child. So now during this Durga Puja, now Ramakrishna has developed that mood whereby he is imagining himself to be the woman companion, the Sevaki or the Sakhi of Divine Mother. So now he is completely dressed like a woman. The master's face was brightened with a spiritual emotion and the love of the mother. He has assumed the body and was living in the way he had adopted. And his lips were beautified with a unique smile. His looks, the movements of his hands and feet, and his gesture resembled those of a woman. The master was dressed in a beautiful silken cloth given by Mathur Babu, and he had put it on in the manner of a sari. Who would say that he belonged to a male sex? The beauty and complexion of the master at that time were so charming that they overflowed as it were all around. That complexion assumed a bright hue when there was a spiritual emotion, as if a light came out of his body. People could not turn their eyes away when they saw that beauty in wonder. We have heard from Holy Mother herself that the color of the body of Sri Ramakrishna was that of golden amulet. I will repeat it again. We have heard from Holy Mother herself that the color of the skin or the body of Sri Ramakrishna and that of the golden amulet symbolizing his chosen ideal, which he used to put on his holy person, mingled together as it were and became one. So his body color was like that of molten gold. We have also heard from the master himself, ah, there was such beauty then that people used to stare at me. The chest and the face used to always be red because it was always concentrated on that region, so the blood would rush and the whole chest and the face would become red with that blood and with that golden complexion, so the shining bright molten gold, as if a light emanated from the body. As people used to stare at that body, I always kept the body covered with a thick wrapper and asked the Divine Mother importunately, Mother, please take away your external beauty. Here is your external beauty, Mother. These people are not attracted towards the internal consciousness. They are very badly attracted towards this outer beauty. I don't want this outer beauty. So he used to pray importunately to Divine Mother, Oh Mother, please take it away, take it back, and give me only internal beauty. Take away this external beauty and give only the internal beauty. Mother, please take it back and give me internal beauty. I used to pass my hand over the body, slapping it again and again, and say, Go inside, go inside, go inside. As a result of this, the exterior became pale, and what you see now is it. We remember another event in the master's life in connection with his personal beauty. At that time, Sri Ramakrishna used to go every year to Kamarpukur and spend there 3 or 4 months in the rainy season and then return to Calcutta. He went sometimes to the house of his nephew, Hriday, at the village of Shihor. The path leading to Shihor lay through Jairambati, the village of his father-in-law. The people of that village made importunate requests to him to stay there for a few days, to which he agreed. Hriday was highly devoted to him, used to be always with him, serving him in every way. During this period of Sri Ramakrishna's stay at Kamarpukur, there used to be crowds of people there continuously from morning till evening in order to see him, that is Sri Ramakrishna, and hear a few words from his lips. The women of the neighborhood finished sweeping, cleaning, their house chores, everything, very early in the morning, and came there with pitchers on their hips to take water home after their bath, and placing the pitchers on the bank of the Haladar pond near Sri Ramakrishna's house. They would come to the Chatterjee house, that is the Chatterjee's house, and sit there. So the house of the master was so called because of their family surname Chattopadhyaya or Chatterjee, or colloquially Chatterjee or Chatterjee. The colloquial, the village people, the Chattopadhyaya had converted into Chatterjees, and sit there. They would spend an hour or so in talk with Sri Ramakrishna and the women of his house, and then they used to go to bath. That happened every day. And if sweetmeats, that is the jalebi or the other special preparation, had been made, or whatever sweets in their house, the previous night in their houses, they would keep portion of them for Sri Ramakrishna before using themselves, and take the opportunity to bring and give them to Sri Ramakrishna. Fond of merrymaking, he sometimes said to them on seeing them, "Come," when it was scarcely dawn. Even it was early morning, scarcely dawn. There, the women and the people would be there to meet Ramakrishna, offer their sweets, and talk to them. So now Sri Ramakrishna is telling the gopis met Sri Ramakrishna at Vrindavan at various times in various ways. And we are told that they had their pasture meeting at the time of going to the bank of Yamuna to bring water, the sunset meeting when the divine Lord returned with the cows after gazing them, and the dance meeting in the evenings or the night, and so on. There is rasa. So may I ask it, it is your bath time meeting? The woman would roll with laughter to hear it. The men of the village came to Sri Ramakrishna after the woman had gone home to do their daytime cooking and other duties. The men sat and talked with him as long as they liked. The woman came again in the afternoon, and some of the men folk also came in the night. Again, men and women from distant places, different villages, came very often in the afternoon and returned home before sunset because they had to return back to their villages. Thus, there used to be gatherings of people like those during the car festival or Ratha Yatra. Can imagine during the Puri Jagannatha Ratha Yatra how people will gather there near the temple. So there would be gathering of people wherever Sri Ramakrishna went in those villages. So once while the master was staying at Kamarpukur, arrangements were made for him to visit Shihor from Kamarpukur. As the master used constantly to be in ecstasy, samadhi, bhava samadhi, his body became very soft like that of a boy, small boy. He could not travel even a small distance without a palanquin or a carriage. So that palanquin in English is the name of the pallaki, that is called palanquin. This was why a palanquin was bought for him to go to Shihor. In those days, there would be a box-like thing. There would be two wooden poles coming out in the front and the back, and people, the servants, used to carry that. So the rich people, the king or the queen, they used to sit inside. So there would be screen. The screen would be covered. So the men would carry it. There would be soldiers in the front and back. So that was called either pallaki or palanquin. So this was why a palanquin was bought for Ramakrishna to go to Shihor via Jairam Bhatt. Hriday made arrangements to accompany him in a red silken cloth, and so he was that day wearing a red silken cloth and with a gold amulet symbolizing his chosen ideal on his arm. He came chewing betel roll. So Ramakrishna had the habit of chewing betel roll, pan, after his noonday meal to get into the palanquin. He saw there was a big crowd on the road near the palanquin. Men and women were standing all around, surprised to see it. Ramakrishna was surprised to see so many people waiting there near the palanquin. They are all gathered in large numbers. So Ramakrishna asked Hriday, why? Why is there such a big crowd? Why has such a big crowd gathered here, Hriday, today? Then Hriday replied, Mama. So Hriday was for Hriday, it was a maternal uncle. so used to call him as Mama. So Hriday told him, Mama, for what else? You will go there today, showing the people will not have an opportunity of seeing you for some time. So you are going away from their village. That is why they all have come just to see you. Sri Ramakrishna then replied, but they see me every day. Is there anything new for them to see today? Then Hriday replied, oh Mama, today you look very handsome. You are wearing that red silken cloth and you appear dressed in this red silken cloth. You are achieving a beetle roll which makes your lips shine with a ruddy hue. That is why they want to see you with that beauty or the handsomeness of yours. What else can the reason be? Then Sri Ramakrishna's mind was filled with an unprecedented feeling of dispassion. He thought, alas, alas, these people, they are occupied with this ephemeral, external beauty of the body only, and they do not want to see Him. They do not want to see Him who is residing within. So the Lord Vishnu, Gadadhara Vishnu, or the Divine Mother, she is residing in that person. They don't want to see that internal consciousness. They are only interested, these people, alas, are occupied with this ephemeral external beauty only, and they do not want to see Him who is residing within. He had all along a sincere repugnance. So he had aversion and hatred to physical beauty. Sri Ramakrishna, from the beginning, had a sincere repugnance or aversion to physical beauty. Now, that repugnance and that aversion towards that physical beauty increased a thousandfold by this incident. He said, what? Men to crowd thus to see a man and his physical beauty? Cancel all the programs. I will go, no, I will go, I will not go anywhere. For people will crowd thus wherever I go. At once he went direct to his room in the inner apartment of the house, took off his dress and sat down worried and afflicted. Filled with humility, the master did not go to Jairambati and Shihor that day. Hriday and all others of the household exhorted him in various ways, but all their efforts were of no avail. Just imagine, O reader, what a mean and contemptuous idea this divine personage had of his own body. So now we have seen when we go to the temple. I had gone to the Kanyakumari temple. So there, when I went to the temple, people used to come in large numbers from North India and other places. So the language was different. In Kanyakumari, the language they speak was Tamil. And these people are from different various other places, pilgrims always coming to see Kanyakumari. When they enter the temple, they will be not interested in the Mahima, the Mahatmya of that local temple, nor of the deity. Now, they will not ask the priests why this Kanyakumari mother in the form of this 7 or 8-year-old girl, the Divine Mother, is standing there to bless us. What is her Mahima? What is the Leela she played here in Kanyakumari? How much tapas, austerity she did in one leg, standing there in one leg for thousands of years to get Shiva as her husband. So all that they are not at all worried. They do not know, they don't ask, they don't want it. They are just bothered to see the ornaments of the Divine Mother. That's all, glittering ornaments. What is that ornaments on the waist? Dabu. What is that necklace? What is that diamond? So most of them are worried only about the nose ring of the Divine Mother. That is a very red colored ruby is there, very beautiful ruby. So that ruby of the red color on the nose ring of the Divine Mother is so special that that light would go to maybe kilometers together, the red light. So in the night, when the doors were open, when there was no big temple there. So the seafarers on the ocean, because it is facing the ocean, the temple is facing the ocean, the Divine Mother is turning towards the ocean. So the seafarer ship, they used to think that was the lighthouse, the light emanating from there. They used to get confused and there would be many shipwrecks, confusing that for a lighthouse. So now, because of that, they have closed the front door, or they have built a very big wall towards the thing where the Divine Mother cannot be seen from the sea, because that light would go and disturb them. So these priests also will tell the same story of the nose ring, and the people, devotees coming there also will ask, oh, where is that ring? What is that ring? What has happened? They're not at all bothered about the austerity, the leela, the tapasya, the other things which the Divine Mother did there. Why is she standing there? Why is she standing with one leg? What is her leela? What is the Divine Mother? They are not at all bothered. They are bothered about only that nose ring, because their minds is only at that level. So the external worldly people, they have only worldly things to see. So likewise here, Ramakrishna was upset. So this is all a warning to all of us. What are we looking at? Is it the external beauty or the internal consciousness? Let us go back to the words of Sri Ramakrishna, what he uttered, so that we can get it spiritually right. The master's mind was filled with an unprecedented feeling. He thought, alas, they are all occupied with this ephemeral external beauty of the body only, and they do not want to see Him. Who is that Him? The Lord who is within. They do not want to see Him, the Gadadhara Vishnu, or the Divine Mother, who is residing within this body. They are only bothered about looking at the external body. They are occupied with that ephemeral external beauty only, and they do not want to see Him who is residing within. Now Ramakrishna had all along a sincere repugnance, aversion to physical beauty. Now it increased 1,000-fold by this incident. He said, what? Men to crowd thus to see a man, the physical body? Cancel all programs. I will not go anywhere, for people will crowd thus wherever I go. At once he went direct to his room in the inner apartment of the house, took off his dress and sat down, worried and afflicted, filled with humility. Now this is very important. If he was filled with humility, the master did not go to Jairambati and Shihor that day. Hriday and all the others of the household exhorted him in various ways, but all their efforts were of no avail. So now, what is the indication, the indicator given by Sri Ramakrishna here through these incidents? We are all worried about our own bodies. We do so much, we take so much of care. Please do that, take care of it and maintain the perfect health. But we are wasting so much of our energy in the external beauty only, external body only, taking care of this external body. Just go and imagine, from your childhood, from all our childhood, how much of our time do we spend in front of the mirror every day, looking ourselves in different directions, from different angles, looking at this body of ours, decorating it. How much of time have we spent in front of the mirror? So this worthless body, which will just sweat and so much of full of serum, pus and blood. So it is so dirty a body. This moment, if you don't clean it, it will become a stinking material. But we take so much care of that. Yes, we should be healthy. We should be taking care of the hygiene, but not just the external thing. So we don't bother about the Atman, Purusha. Why is it called Purusha? Purusha means not man. The real meaning of Purusha means Pure Shete iti Purushaha. So Purusha means not man or woman. Purusha means Pure Shete iti Purushaha. What is Pura? Pura means town or the city. Shete means one who resides or lives. So this body with so many organs and so many things here is called the Pura. The body is called as the Pura or the town. Shete means one who is residing within in our heart. That is the Lord. You may call him Lord Narayana. Again, Narayana is also the same meaning. Narasya Hridayam. So the heart of the human beings, whoever is making that like a cot, Shayana, to sleep there, that is Narayana. So Pure, Purusha, Narayana, Shiva, Durga, everything is the same consciousness. So that consciousness, that Atman, the Parabrahma Swarupa, who is residing in our heart in the form of the light or consciousness, that is Purusha. That Lord is the Purusha. So simply if you have a mustache and a beard and other things, it doesn't make a Purusha. Is more Prakriti only. All of us, whether men or women, all are Prakritis only. So the real Purusha is within. So that is called as Purusha. Pure Shete iti Purushaha. So the Lord who is residing in every one of our heart, whether it is man or woman or child or girl or boy or anybody, old people, that Lord resides within. He is called Purusha. So now Purusha means that Lord who is within. We are bothered just about our dead material external skin, the beauty which is skin deep. Just take out the skin, it is just blood and muscles. So we are just worried to make different hues and colors of this body, not caring about the consciousness or Atman within. So Ramakrishna, by this incidence, is showing us, please be concentrating your mind or identifying yourself with this consciousness, Atman, eternal thing, not on the external physical body, which is going to get destroyed in a short time, which will be changing every now and then with diseases and the other things. So we should take care of this by this incident. What are we to supposed to see? That which is within. Hriday and all the others of the household exhorted Sri Ramakrishna in various ways, but were of no avail. So Sharda Prabhanandaji, Shardanandaji Maharaj, now taking this opportunity, he's telling us, just imagine, O reader, what a mean and contemptuous idea this divine personage had for his own body. Nobody will ask you to hate your body. Nobody is asking to punish your body or make it dirty. Hygiene, health is very, very important. We should have a simple living, neat and clean living, but we should not just be limited to that. We have to identify ourselves with the reality, that is Atmaswarupa, that is our true nature, which is within. So now Ramakrishna, he was so contemptuous about that body. All his focus was on the divine personage which was within. And think of ourselves, how mad after beauty we are, the external beauty. What so much of rubbing and massaging, how much of makeup, and what an array of cosmetics, mirrors, combs, razors, brushes, powdered pulse, soap, essences, and pomades. This was Shardanandaji Maharaj telling of all these things of some maybe 150 or 170 years back. Now God alone knows how many things have added up. So he is telling about that period of 170 years. So that's why he's using the things called powdered pulses. In those days, they were using this gram dal powder flour and those things for cleaning the face and the body. There was no soap and other things during those periods. And again, in imitation of the West, what an excessive indulgence in the delusion that this cage of bones and flesh is our self, and what an inordinate scramble for plunging ourselves headlong into utter ruination through that. To be neat, and to be clean. In order to have a pure and holy mind, on the one hand, yes, we have to take bath, we have to be clean, we have to be hygienic, we have to take care of the health. What for? For your spiritual practices. To think of God and realize God, this body is the only medium. So you have to take care of the health only and of this body only to that extent to help it in realization of God. That's all. This as an instrument you have to take care just to realize God, not 1 inch above that. To be neat and clean in order to have a pure and holy mind. So why should you take bath? Why should you be neat and clean? So that your mind will be clean and it will be light when you take bath, and so your mind becomes refreshed. So with that refreshed mind you can think of God more easily, concentrate your mind on God. That is the reason we have to take bath and be clean. So not just for showing the external beauty to other people. So to be neat and clean in order to have a pure and holy mind on the one hand, and this excessive concern with physical appearance on the other. Can you, O reader, take them to be the same? Let us, however, resume our topic. The Arati of the Divine Mother was about to begin, but that ecstasy of Sri Ramakrishna did not come to an end. Srimati Jagadambadasi, that is the wife of Mathurnath Babu, her name was Srimati Jagadambadasi. So thought she would somehow or other bring Sri Ramakrishna to normal consciousness, because he was immersed in Divine Mother consciousness completely. He was in Bhava Samadhi. So how to bring down his mind to the lower level, to the ordinary level? So she was trying to bring Ramakrishna to normal consciousness and take him to witness there near the image the Arati with other ladies of the house. But she was at a loss to know what she should do when she found that Sri Ramakrishna's ecstasy did not end at all. She did not think it proper to leave him alone there and herself go to attend the Arati. She deliberated, what shall I do? What shall I do? Once the Arati music begins, anyone whom I might leave here to look after him would surely run to the worship hall. There, as fast as her legs would carry her. And Father Ramakrishna also cannot take care of himself when he is in the grip of spiritual emotions or samadhi, thus devoid of normal consciousness. He once fell on a live charcoal and was not conscious of it at all. It was only after a great deal of care and treatment that the sore could be healed. And if I leave him alone, some similar disaster might happen on this happy occasion. What shall I do now? And what will my husband Mathur think about it? She was thinking thus when a plan suggested itself to her. Taking out hurriedly all her precious ornaments and putting them on his person, she began to whisper again and again into the ears of Sri Ramakrishna, let us go, Father. Let us go, Father. The mother's arati is to begin soon. Let us go, Father. The mother's arati is to begin soon. Will you not fan the Divine Mother with the chamara? Will you not fan the Divine Mother with the chamara? It was always observed that however deep Sri Ramakrishna's absorption might be in a spiritual mood, however distant his thought had traversed into the subtle realm of ideas from the persons, thoughts, words, or objects, inciting that inward concentration, his mind was always open to those inciting words or thoughts, and the utterance of them a few times in his ears was sufficient to bring him back to normal consciousness. That such is the behavior of a concentrated mind is recorded briefly, if not at length, in the yoga scriptures of Patanjali Maharshi and others. The reader, well versed in the scriptures, therefore, will not take long to understand such a behavior of Sri Ramakrishna's mind. And those who have, as a result of many virtuous action, attained a little of mental concentration in their lives will more easily understand it. Let us therefore follow the subject of which we were speaking. The word of Jagadambadasi entered Sri Ramakrishna's ears, and immediately on regaining his normal consciousness to a great extent, he accompanied her, partially conscious and brimming with joy. No sooner had they arrived at the worship hall than the arati commenced. Surrounded by the ladies, the master began to fan the image with a chamara. The ladies stood on the one side of the hall, and the gentlemen, including Mathur Babu, on the other side, to witness the arati of the Divine Mother. As soon as Mathur Babu's eyes fell on the ladies, he saw that a new lady stood near his wife and was fanning the mother with a chamara, radiating wonderful beauty from her person, dress, and ornaments. Although he looked again and again, he could not know who she was. He thought at last that she might be a friend of his wife Jagadamba Dasi, some rich man's wife who had perhaps come by invitation. The arati was over. The ladies saluted the Divine Mother, went back to the inner apartments, and were busy doing their duties. In that state of partial consciousness, Sri Ramakrishna went into the inner apartment with Mathur Babu's wife and came gradually to normal consciousness. He then took off the dress and the ornaments, came out and sat with the menfolk, and raising various religious topics, charmed all by his lucid explanation and apt illustrations. A little afterwards, Mathur Babu went to the inner apartment on some business and asked his wife, in the course of the conversation, about the lady who had been standing near her and fanning the mother with a chamara at the time of the arati. Mathur Babu's wife smiled and said in reply, "Could you not know who she was? Father in ecstasy was fanning the Divine Mother thus. That is quite possible, for one cannot know Father to be a man when he puts on the dress and ornaments of a woman." Saying so, she told Mathur Babu everything from the beginning to the end. He was very much surprised and said, "This is why I say, who can recognize Sri Ramakrishna even in trifling matters if he does not allow himself to be recognized? Don't you see? I could not recognize him today, though I see him and am with him for all the 24 hours, but I couldn't recognize him today." The 7th, 8th, and 9th day of the fortnight, that is the Navaratri, is in the one of the Pakshas, the Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. So these fortnights, 15 days, called as the Paksha. So the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, this is Navaratri. The 7th day is called Saptami, then the 8th day Ashtami, 9th day is Navami. So they are the 9 days of Navaratri. Nava means 9, Ratri means nights. So Navaratri, in that 9th day of the fortnight, passed in great joy. That Durga Puja is coming to an end, and the next day is Dashami, the 10th day, Vijaya Dashami. It was the morning of the 10th day, Vijaya Dashami. The priest was hastily finishing Divine Mother's brief worship for the day, for the looking glass had to be immersed. Now, there is a custom in Bengal, especially during Durga Puja. If you go to Belur Math, you can see that. Now, how will they take back the image now? They have invoked Mother through mantras, and now the image is live with the Divine Mother. Now they have to take back that consciousness of the Divine Mother. So before the whole image is immersed, they will take back the consciousness of Divine Mother back. How is that done? First, the immersion will be done in a small pot. So how is it done? A pot full of water is kept in front of the image of the Divine Mother, and a looking glass, that is a mirror, small mirror, is held over it in such a way as to catch the reflection of the image. Then it is immersed in the water. This is what is known as the looking glass immersion of the Divine Mother. So the immersion of the Divine Mother will be done in this way first, in that pot of water, and they will bring back that Chaitanya in the reflection glass and immerse water. The immersion of the Mother will take place there itself. Later on, the image is carried and immersed in Ganga or in the ocean water, whatever that might be. So now the time has come for the looking glass had to be immersed at the moment prescribed in the almanac. So the time is very, very important. Muhurta. At that time, the immersion ceremony, the ritual has to be done. The Muhurta has come. Now, Why do they make this image like this in the mud and immersion and other things take place? Even if you can see that of Ganesha and Divine Mother and many other deities being done. What is the significance? So while we are doing the puja of Ganesha in South India, we used to tell one song on Ganesha. What is that song? Ganesha Banda Kai Kadbu Tinda. Ganesha has come, taking the form now. Kai Kadbu means coconut, and his favorite Modaka Kadbu is he has eaten it. So now they will tell Chikkereli Bidda Dodkereledda. So this poetry would be always repeated. They used to sing while the immersion is done. This song would be repeated. We would not know, we used to just sing. Then later on, when you go deeper into it, you could see the Lord has taken the form, he has come from formlessness. He is a Parabrahma Swarupa. So he has taken the form of Ganesha and come down to us to receive all our services done to him and bless us. After that now, he will go and fall. What is that? Chikka Kereyalli Bidda. Chikka Kere means small river or small lake or small pond. So the body of water is called Kere. So reservoir is called Kere. Chikka Kere means small reservoir of water. He fell into that and he got up in the big reservoir. That is the meaning. So what is the meaning? He has fallen into this small river means he has come down to this small world universe with form. Now he will get up in the big reservoir means he will get into that formlessness. The God from the formlessness has taken a form, that is the Chikkakare, small reservoir, this created universe, taken attributes, taken the form, and now we'll go back to the formless. That is, he is going to arise in the big reservoir. So the small folk songs carried so much deeper meaning. That is the idea where the formlessness, the God who is formless, attributeless, has taken the form of the Divine Mother or whatever Ganesha or whichever worship you do of the God. So the Lord has taken, who is formless and attributeless, for our sake, he has taken all these different forms and attributes, receives our worship, and he blesses us, and then he goes back to the formlessness. Now you have to enshrine that Lord in your heart and then worship it every day. That is the idea of the Ganesha Puja or the Durga Puja. So here you can see that the image, here they are taking away the consciousness through the looking glass. At that moment, seeing in the almanac, the image itself was to be immersed after the sunset, but the real immersion is being done here in the formal way or ritualistic way. There descended, as it were, a shadow of sadness over the minds of all the households of Mathur Babu, and there was a feeling of indescribable and undefined fear of an inevitable and immediate separation from a very, very dear person. Now in Bengal, the Durga Puja, for the common mass, they cannot understand this formlessness, the Parabrahma Swarupa, the eternal consciousness, infinity, omnipotent, omnipresent. Common people cannot understand. So how is it given into their heart with devotion? They will consider that Parabrahma Swarupa as Divine Mother Parvati, the wife of Shiva. Shiva is the Parabrahma Swarupa. The power of Shiva is the Divine Mother Durga. Now she has taken the form, the attributes. So now she is considered or felt by all the devotees who worship Mother Durga as their daughter. Mother Parvati, who has gone to Shiva. Shiva is a mendicant, always meditating, Smashanavasi. So there will be no good facilities there for Divine Mother. So the daughter of our house. So they will think that the all the people here as the mother of Mother Durga, Parvati. So they have sent her to the husband's house, Shiva's house in Kailasa. So now she has come to visit during the Durga Puja the mother's house. They all feel their own house as the mother's house of Parvati or Durga. So the daughter has come to the mother's house. So how should you treat the daughter who has come with great care? You take care of her, you treat her, you give her all different kind of food. So that is the way they treat the Divine Mother, as if she is the daughter of the house, and they will take care of her. So now the time has come for the daughter of the house who stayed there, made everyone happy with the presence, now is going back to Shiva's house, that is Kailasa. So they feel the pang of pain, that separation, the Divine Mother, the daughter of their house, is going away. So that's why during the end of the Durga Puja, all the people will feel that sadness. Oh, mother is going away back to the husband's house. We will now not have the company of the Divine Mother. So they will cry, they will be with sorrow, the divine discontentment, the separation from the Divine Mother. So that is the feeling there. So you should understand what is the feeling, the devotional aspect. Because the common people do not know anything about this Gnana Marga, Sankhya, Atma, Paramatma. They're not worried, bothered. They think God as their own relative, a very close person, and they treat God with all that service. That is devotion. Now, the image itself was to be immersed after sunset. There descended, as it were, a shadow of sadness over the minds of all the households of Mathur Babu, and there was a feeling of indescribable and undefined fear of an inevitable and immediate separation from a very, very dear person, that is Divine Mother. A penumbra of such sadness is always attached to even the purest bliss of this world. You know the term penumbra and umbra. When there is the grahana, the eclipse, at that time, the light at one port of this thing, there will be the shadow. So when the either the earth or the moon covers the sun and there will be no light for us, you see that that is the thing called eclipse. So at that time, the shadow falling there will create the umbra and penumbra. So now here the word is used, a penumbra of such sadness is always attached to even the purest bliss of this world. So the shadow during the eclipse, so the penumbra of such sadness is always attached even to the purest bliss of this world. It is perhaps according to this law that the pain due to the separation of God is felt from time to time, even in the life of great lovers of God. Great devotees feel that. That is also a tool to go towards God. The divine discontentment, the feeling of separation from God. So even the highest devotees, they feel that separation from God. You could see Sri Ramakrishna, when he had not realized the Divine Mother, used to fall on the ground and rub his face to the ground on the sand, and it would bleed. Oh mother, mother, give me your darshan. Please show yourself to me. So Ramakrishna used to cry, and because of the divine discontentment and the separation from Divine Mother and God, you could see that he had developed that burning sensation in the body. We have read about that. Now, even the great devotees, it is perhaps according to this law that the pain due to the separation from God is felt from time to time, even in the life of the great lovers of God. Now, we too have that pain, but it is covered up by our impure mind, the worldly desire, the worldly attachments, the desires is covering. That's why the beautiful example of the magnet is given. We are all like the iron filings or the iron needles covered by mud and other filth. So the magnet, however powerful it may be, it cannot attract the iron filings because it is covered by mud, dirt and other things. So when you clean the needle, the iron needle, from water or some other good things to remove the mud and the dirt on it, then you need not do anything. The needle will automatically be attracted by the magnet. The magnet attraction is always there, but because of the dirt covering it, it will not attract it. Similarly, We too have that attraction of the magnet called the Paramatma, the Lord, Ishvara, the Parabrahma Swarupa. But what is that stopping? The desires of the mind, the desires of the worldly things, the attachment to people, the attachment to different vastus in this world is covering our person, the pure mind, and making it impure. So we are not feeling that attraction of the God. The moment you cleanse your mind, become pure, then you can see that separation causes so much of pain. That is the devotion. That is the feeling for the Lord. To see the Lord, you cannot keep quiet. You have to go and see the Lord. That's separation. Now, it is perhaps according to this law that the pain due to the separation from God is felt from time to time, even in the life of greatest lovers of God. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, by shedding tears, say, how can you overcome that pain of separation from God? When you are separated from somebody, either your child or your mother or anybody, any person, you shed tears for them. You cry for them. Likewise, if instead of crying for the worldly people and worldly things or the vastus, you have lost a car, you have lost your wallet, you have lost your money, you cry so much. Instead of that, if you cry for the highest treasure, that is God whom you have lost, then Ramakrishna tells by that tears, all the dirt, the squalor, impurities of the mind will be washed off. The tears for God, tears shed for realizing God, that you have not seen God, that tears will wash away all the impurities of your mind covering your body, and then automatically your mind will get attracted immensely to that magnet called God. So now it is perhaps according to this law that the pain due to the separation from God is felt from time to time, even in the life of great lovers of God. And even the hearts of the strong among us melt into tears when we go to immerse the image on the Vijayadashmi day. The case of Mathuranath's wife need no mention. Since the morning, Mathuranath's wife, Jagadamba Dasi, she had often been rubbing the tears away from her eyes with the end of her cloth while she was engaged in her duties. In the outer apartment, however, Mathuranath had yet no idea of approaching moment. His heart was swelling with joy as before, having brought the mother of the universe to his house and enjoyed the blessed company and grace of Sri Ramakrishna. Mathur was experiencing a fullness of joy within himself and was forgetful of the outer world. Who was interested in what was to happen in the world? And where was the need? His days would undoubtedly pass in that way in the company of Divine Mother and Sri Ramakrishna. Just at that time, words came from the priest that the immersion ceremony of the mother was about to take place. Everybody has to assemble here. The immersion ceremony is about to take place. He wanted to know whether Babu, that is Mathur Babu, would be pleased to go to the worship hall and pay his obeisance, the Pushpanjali to the Divine Mother, the last pranama to Mother before that ceremony, immersion ceremony. So the priest sent the word to Mathur Babu. Mathur could not even understand at first what was said to him. When he came to understand it after questioning those about him, he became conscious of the fact that it was the 10th day, Vijayadashmi. And as soon as this knowledge dawned on him, he was stunned, he was afraid, he was fearful, as if he had received a severe blow on his head. Filled with grief and pain, he began to think, what? The Divine Mother to be immersed today? Why? Why? By the grace of Sri Ramakrishna and the Divine Mother, I stand in need of nothing. I have so much of wealth. Unlike before, my mind too has been filled with bliss by the holy advent of Divine Mother to my house. Why should I then court dejection by immersing the Mother? No, no, I cannot break up this fare of bliss. Oh, the immersion of Mother. No, I cannot part from Divine Mother. I feel suffocation even to think of separating from Divine Mother. It cannot happen. Mathur was himself immersed in such thoughts, and he started shedding He began shedding tears immensely. In the meantime, the immersion time was nearby. It was approaching very fast. The priest was sending word every now and then. Everyone was eager to do that ceremony. Mathur Babu, please do come and stand near the image. Please come. The mother's immersion has to take place. Mathur felt much annoyed. Now the fear, the separation, the pain now transformed itself into anger. Mathur Babu felt annoyed and sent word, I will never allow anyone to immerse the Divine Mother. The worship will continue the whole year, every day, till the end of my life, or even after that. The worship will continue as it is going on now. If anybody tries to immerse my mother without my permission or approval, a grievous disaster is going to happen. There may even be bloodshed and murder. I will kill the person who is going to immerse my mother. Take away from me. Saying so, Mathurnath sat in a very stern mood, seeing his master, that is the owner of the house, is like a king now. His master, everybody seeing in this strange mood, the terrified servants moved away and going to the worship hall, told priest everything. Please do not do that immersion. The Babu is in lot of anger. He may do something. He's telling that he's going to murder anybody who is going to separate mother from him. All held their breath. Everybody became afraid. All of them consulted together and sent those members of the household who were held in respect by Mathurnath to persuade him to agree to the immersion. All the near and dear ones, the wife, the other people who were close to and who was respected by Mathur, they all were asked to go and convince Mathur. Now Mathurnath Babu said, why? I shall perform the daily worship of the mother. As I have the means for that, I have enough of wealth. Mother has given me wealth. Why should I send away mother from my house? By her grace, why should I bid goodbye to her? What could they do under the circumstances? They too came back. Everyone, nobody could convince. And everyone concluded that Mathurnath's brain might have got deranged. He has become mad. That conclusion apart, what was now the way out? Okay, whatever it might be, now we have to do something. The immersion is to take place. You can't keep the image as it is. So that conclusion apart, what was now the way out? Every one of the household knew how rash Mathurnath would become when he gets angry. So everyone knew that when angry, he bade goodbye to his faculty of reason, viveka and understanding. Who was going to incur his displeasure by ordering the immersion ceremony of the deity without his approval? Nobody came forward to do that. Exaggerated news reached the mistress. Now people are adding masala, so many spices and taking news everywhere outside. So exaggerated news reached the mistress of the house, that is Jagadamba Dasi. Overwhelmed with apprehension and alarm, now she ran to Sri Ramakrishna. She pleaded, she fell at his feet, she requested Sri Ramakrishna to try to persuade Mathur. For who but Ramakrishna was there to save them from danger? Who knew if Mathur Babu's brain had really been deranged? The master now came and saw Mathur deeply absorbed in thought, pacing up and down the room with his face sombre and eyes red. As soon as he saw Sri Ramakrishna, Mathur came running to him and fell at his feet and then told, Father, Baba, let them say whatever they like. Baba, I cannot bid goodbye to my mother. Before I breathe my last, either I have to die, then only mother can go away. I will not allow to mother go away from my house. I cannot bid goodbye to mother before I breathe my last. I have told all of them, and I shall perform her daily worships every day, all through my life. How can I do without my divine mother? So now, because it is already time, We will stop our discussion of the great master for today. We'll continue the same discussion tomorrow, Monday morning at the same time. Today, because of the power failure, since yesterday 4:30 p.m., there was some fault in the electricity line or something was problem there. So we didn't have electricity. Even now, we had to bring a generator and start the program, so it got delayed. I I'm sorry about that. Now it's the time for question and answer. If you have any doubts, if you have any questions, you can ask. If you have any questions, otherwise we can conclude today's program with a closing prayer if you don't have any questions. So now today at 9:30 we will have our Hinduism for children's class, where different aspects of Hinduism will be taught to the children from age group of, maybe we have children from the age group of 6 to 21 or 22 or something like that. There are two different groups, the small children and the elderly children. So we teach them different aspects of Hinduism. We teach them Sanskrit letters, alphabets, Hindi alphabets. Then we are teaching them yoga, pranayama, and many other things. So if any children are interested to get this samskara, the good conduct, the character building in our Hindu way, you can admit them to that Hinduism class. In the evening there will be the satsang. Then tomorrow evening we have the science of worship, or the significance of worship, in the evening at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. South African time, 9:30 in Indian time. Then Tuesday we have the great the Viveka Chudamani, the Crucible of Discrimination, written by Shankaracharya, the Vedantic manual. And Wednesday and Saturday we have the Bhagavad Gita. Thursday, Friday, early in the morning, the same time as today, the great master discussion will be there. All are welcome to all these discussions. Now, since you don't have any questions or doubts, I'm going to end this session with a prayer. Om Priyatam Pundarikakshah Sarvayagneshwaro Harihi Tasmin Tushte Jagat Prenite Prenitam Jagat Harihi Om Tatsat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu